What happens when a grieving detective realizes the case he's working on is tied to his wife's murder,
I don't know, but you want to hear some more crazy shit?
and the nicest philanthropist in the city turns out to be crafting serial killer recreations in his basement?
What? Why?
With Season 2 of Cross premiering on Prime Video February 11th, now is the perfect time to revisit the world of Alex Cross.
I am a huge fan.
Let's rewind and recap everything that happened in Cross Season 1, episode by episode. The season opens up on a high note. Alex, his wife Maria, his partner John, and John's girlfriend are out at lunch watching a game and enjoying each other's company. As Maria steps away to the powder room, a gunshot goes off in the restaurant, and Alex runs towards the sound only to find Maria dead on the floor as the entire place erupts into chaos. His entire world ends in seconds. 1 year later, Alex and John are assigned to the death of Amir Goodspeed, a well-known activist found dead in his car from an apparent overdose. While the department is quick to close the case, Alex notices details that do not add up. Alex pays a visit to Amir's mother and sister Malika, who insist Amir was targeted for his activism. This reinforces Alex's belief that this is not an accident, but in fact a murder. We are introduced to a man named Ed Ramsay, a popular philanthropist with deep pockets, when Alex and his new love interest Elle attend a fundraiser event connected to Amir's case. We later find out the mystery behind this popular philanthropist, but for now, he is just a man who seems deeply invested in justice and reform. Someone breaks into Alex's home and plants Maria's scarf in his closet. Alex later sees his son wearing the scarf at school and realizes the killer is taunting him. We cut to a scene where we meet Shannon, an unsuspecting woman going about her day, who is out in the rainy streets of DC with her mother waiting for a coffee order. When the barista calls her name, he gives her a puzzling look as she grabs the drinks. As she walks away, he snaps a quick photo of her and sends it to someone unknown. A man named Bobby Trey, someone clearly already on edge, sits down in a barbershop with a plate of messy fries when his appointment is interrupted by a text message showing a car parked outside of a house, forcing him to leave immediately. Alex has lunch alongside John and a few colleagues when he insists Amir's death is a murder and provides evidence towards his case. He secures 48 hours from the chief of police to prove his case and brings in FBI agent Kayla Craig, who helps trace a burner phone tied to the case. The trail leads him to Tavio, a frightened person of interest, who panics when the police attempt to bring him in. He takes a hostage and is killed by a sniper before he can talk. The department quickly spins the story to close the case, but Alex knows Tavio was silenced. Back at his house, Alex received a bouquet, a photo of Maria with her eyes scratched out, and a phone call from a woman promising they would meet soon, confirming this case is part of something much bigger. A video of Tavio's death circulates online, and Alex spots Tavio's girlfriend slipping his phone into her pocket. This act forces her into hiding, fearing for her life. At the same time, Ed Ramsay hides his identity under the name John and meets Shannon through a dating app. Shannon realizes she has been catfished, but Ed is smooth enough to keep her around, flashing influence and money like it's nothing. We find out that Ed is working with Bobby Trey behind the scenes and sends Bobby to retrieve Tavio's phone. The danger escalates at home too. Alex's daughter Janelle is stalked outside through their hacked security system. When Alex comes home, he notices the hopscotch numbers outside have been changed to match the exact time and date of Maria's death. Alex and Kayla track down the place Tavio's girlfriend is hiding, but Bobby Trey gets there first. He breaks in, forces her to unlock Tavio's phone, swallows the SIM card, and kills her before slipping out the back. Alex manages to recover Tavio's last voice message, which includes an address, 41 Price Street. Meanwhile, Shannon agrees to have breakfast with Ed at his home, where he drugs her by spiking the hand sanitizer at the entrance. As she fades out, he calls her Eileen, and now we realize Shannon is not just missing, she is being turned into part of Ed's sick project. Alex takes his growing pile of evidence to the judge, hoping to finally secure a warrant for the Price Street house tied to Amir and Tavio's death, but the judge shuts him down, saying there's not enough to justify a search. Alex learns the property owner has gone through extreme lengths to hide their identity, which only raises more suspicion. John received lab results on Maria's scarf, but refuses to share the full details unless Alex agrees to book a therapy session, forcing him to confront his trauma of losing his wife head on. The scarf evidence traces back to Susan, a wheelchair-bound colleague within the department. She believes the stalker is likely connected to an older case Alex worked on. Meanwhile, Shannon wakes up tied to a chair in a basement with a camera pointed at her. Ed Ramsay begins forcing her through a disturbing transformation process, starting with facial treatments, making it clear she is part of something carefully planned. With the warrant denied, he uses a misleading report that labels Price Street as a drug den to justify a drug raid. The plan backfires when the raid turns up nothing, leaving Chief Anderson furious and John stuck between protecting his badge and standing by his partner. A woman lures Alex into an isolated location to try and murder him, but he managed to shoot her first. Evidence proves Alex was a target all along. This also leads him to his wife's gravesite, where a dress from a previous case was left hanging in a tree. A missing clue about the Price Street house reveals a hidden basement, and Alex and John goes back there to check it out. When Alex and John finally breaks in, Shannon and Bobby Trey are gone, but Ed leaves behind a scrapbook that details him recreating famous serial killers from his victims. Amir was staged as the Sandman, and Shannon was meant to become Eileen Wuornos. At this point, the pattern is undeniable, and the case officially becomes something much bigger than anyone expected. Episode 4 opens up with a courtroom flashback detailing a brutal act of torture that left the victim broken. The dress seen during the testimony later appears hanging near Maria's grave, tying a past case to the danger now closing in on Alex. Back in the present, Alex uncovers new details about a former corrections officer tied to that case and realizes that his own testimony played a role in what followed. With Ed's scrapbook now in evidence, Alex and the team sees that the murders are not just inspired by famous serial killers, but carefully replicated using the same methods in which the serial killers died. They officially name it the fanboy case, recognizing that this is not someone killing impulsively, but someone obsessed with legacy and recognition. The team discovers the killer is using dating apps and serial killer aliases to lure victims. To draw him out, Alex leaks details to the press, turning the case public. As protests grow and the city turns hostile, Alex realizes the truth. The killer is not just collecting victims, he is chasing admiration, and the scrapbook is his identity. Ed notices Shannon's skin reaction and realizes that she has dermatitis, meaning her treatment requires a legitimate prescription. Alex and his team later followed that trail to a pharmacy purchase under a serial killer alias, leading them back to Ed's past and confirming what Alex already suspects. Ed is not just a fan of serial killers, he sees himself as one. The episode closes with Alex's home security system being hacked again, blasting Maria's 911 call and proving that the threat could still reach him. Episode 5 opens with Ed Ramsay calmly preparing for his birthday dinner, treating it like a celebration while continuing his work on Shannon in private. With his scrapbook back in hand, he resumes shaping her into his final creation, even forcing a mold of her teeth as part of the transformation. As the party unfolds, Ed plays the perfect host while Alex uses the night to get close without lawyers in the way. A brief flashback reveals Alex and John uncovered lies in Ed's past, including the truth that his mother is still alive. Alex manages to slip into Ed's office and find bloodstained items tying him to the crimes. Ed confronts him with the uneasy toast, then later proves how deeply he has been watching by casually reciting details about Alex's children and mom. Downstairs, Shannon nearly escapes and is briefly seen by a powerful guest who realizes the truth about Ed. He silences her through blackmail and drags Shannon back under control, though not before taking a deep cut, the first visible crack in his perfect image. Tensions build as Alex corners Ed privately and lays out that he knows exactly who he is. Ed responds not with panic, but by quietly sending a message telling someone it is time to move now. The episode detonates when a video from Alex's past is leaked to everyone at the party, footage of him assaulting a suspect in the aftermath of Maria's death. Alex is suddenly the one on trial in a room full of powerful people. He tries to expose Ed as the fanboy killer, but no one listens. He is ordered to go home and call his union rep, and we end with Alex isolated, publicly disgraced, and closer to the truth than ever, while Ed walks away smiling, still in control. Alex meets with his union rep and is told he needs to turn in his badge and gun, which would also mean staying away from the case entirely. Alex has no intention of doing that. Alex finds himself completely isolated, with even John being pulled in different directions. Their frustration boils over into a heated argument in the locker room about the leaked assault video and everything it has cost Alex, until Shauna steps in and shuts it down. Protesters tag his car with the word abolish, and his son gets suspended from school after fighting kids who were showing the assault video to his sister. Nana Mama makes it clear that his son Damon needs his father right now, so Alex takes him along when he follows his next lead. Kayla traces a lead connected to Ed back to an underground punk band from the 80s known for violent theatrics and ritual imagery. Alex tracks down the band's lead singer, who confirms Ed's long-standing obsession with death over music. An emergency grand jury meeting is planned to finally move against Ed. That plan collapses when the corruption reveals itself. Alex's colleague, Lieutenant Massey, turns out to be the dirty cop protecting Ed and murders the band lead singer before he could testify. Episode 7 opens with Ed preparing to complete what he calls his masterpiece, studying lethal injections and studying Shannon's death like an execution. At the same time, Nana Mama gives Alex a new name tied to a revenge-driven past. But before he can fully pursue it, the fallout from the previous witness pulls him back in. Alex pressures a powerful guest from Ed's party into admitting what she saw, bloody hands, and proof that Ed is the killer. That conversation sparks a realization. Ed times his murders around the birthdays of the serial killers he is recreating. And with Shannon's transformation tied to an approaching date, everything is accelerating. The corruption finally cracks when John confronts Massey and exposes her deal with Ed, forcing a confirmation. Meanwhile, Alex tracks down the surgeon responsible for altering the victims and learns she is not being coerced at all. She is an active accomplice who wants Alex alive to witness the end. John arrives in time to save Alex and reveals a tracker that leads the team to a warehouse where Ed is live streaming Shannon's execution. They interrupt the broadcast, save Shannon, and chase Ed into his office, where he fakes his own death. That illusion shatters when Ed resurfaces at the hospital and Alex finally stops him for good. But the night ends with the stalker breaking into Alex's home, proving the threat is far from over. The season finale opens by grounding Alex in his relationships, highlighting his bond with John and Nana Mama as the constants in his life after loss. In the present, Alex realizes the stalking threat has escalated, forcing him to move his children somewhere safe while he stays behind to confront what is coming. As Alex digs deeper, a crucial insight emerges. Family is not always defined by blood, and the person orchestrating the attacks has been hiding in plain sight. When Alex finally confronts the truth, the gentle facade drops and the threat reveals itself as deeply personal and rooted in long-buried revenge. The final confrontation traps Alex in an impossible choice meant to break him in front of his children. He turns the tables by exposing the truth behind the past crime, unraveling the manipulation at the heart of it all as the situation spirals into violence and fire. In the aftermath, the immediate threats are neutralized, the children survive, and Alex is finally cleared. The season closes with Alex visiting Maria's grave and beginning therapy, signaling that while justice has been served, healing is only just beginning. Thanks for watching Prime Video Recaps. My name is Jay, and after everything Alex Cross has been through, he deserves the longest vacation in the history of Washington, D.C.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Cross Season 1 is now streaming only on Prime Video. Cross Season 2 premieres February 11th.
Y'all cool with that?
Mm-hmm.